So you want a basketball scholarship? Well, you've come to the right place because in today's video, we're going to be going over the steps and the tips and tricks on how you can secure that basketball scholarship. Now, obviously, most scholarships are given out to high school students who are being recruited by these universities for a basketball scholarship. But don't worry, because we'll also be going over how you can potentially be a walk-on at your university and still receive some form of basketball scholarship. Now, before we start, make sure you click that subscribe button and the like button to let the algorithm know to get this video out to more people so it can help more people out. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Aryan Sharma and I play for the University of Western Ontario. And it's my 4th year playing here. So I was recruited straight out of high school to play for this university. And I've been playing here ever since because I chose to stay in Canada and attend University of Western Ontario. So let's just jump right into it. And I got to address the elephant in the room. Now, I'm saying this not because I want to discourage anybody from trying to get a basketball scholarship, but I think that the best thing I can do is to keep it real with y'all. So obviously we're talking about skill. Straight up, you just have to be good enough and skilled enough to be able to play at the next level. Now, don't click away yet, because if you stick to the end, I'll make sure I give you guys some tips and tricks on to improve your skills and to maximize your potential. But I just wanted to get that point out across first. At the end of the day, you have to be skilled enough to be able to play for a university or college. So in my experience, coaches are looking for a player that either one, is skilled enough to make an impact on the team that they're being recruited for, or two, is able to be developed into a player that would fit the system of the team that they're being recruited for as well. All right, and like I said, we'll touch more on how to improve your skills and maximize your potentials at the end of this video, but let's start running through the points on how to get that basketball scholarship first. So the first thing is to understand what coaches are looking for. Now, this could be a bunch of things. It could be a scorer, it could be a rebounder, it could be a defender, it could be an energy guy, it could be any one of those roles. So that means situations of the teams really matter. For example, there might be a really good point guard on the team that's graduating and the coach is looking for somebody to kind of replace his or her spot. Or the coach could be looking for a lockdown defender that they need to have on their team. Now, why this is important is because it's going to give you a sense of which schools are going to be looking at you. Basketball is about roles. So first and foremost, you want to be a star in whatever role that you have. And then you can worry about providing that role to a university that's looking for you to fulfill that specific job. So just make sure that you understand that point, because certain teams are not going to be looking for certain players. You can be good enough to play on a team, but maybe they just don't need that role on the team. And don't let that discourage you, because your role could be very, very valuable for another team. The next thing is that you want to make sure your grades are on point. Now, there are so many times that I'm talking to one of the coaches at my school and we were talking about a recruit or a transfer or a player that they're interested in, and they basically kind of are just not going to recruit them because they simply just can't get into school. So you need to remember that you're a student athlete, an emphasis on the student part. And I know it sounds simple, but in order to play at a university, you need to be able to go to that university, and that means you need to be able to get into that university for whatever program you're applying. So you really don't want to be in a situation where what's stopping you from playing at a university is your grades, because that is such a waste of potential. Not to mention, when your grades are on point, it opens so many other opportunities for you, such as Ivy League schools or different programs at different schools that you want to play at. Maybe that there's a school that's looking for a player exactly like you. You want to make sure you have the grades to be able to get into that school. So I know it's not basketball related, but it's so important because you want to be able to actually get into the school that's potentially recruiting you. Next, you need to be seen. Now, this is one of the biggest and most important factors that is going to potentially help you in getting recruited and getting that university basketball scholarship. Unfortunately, we live in a world where sometimes it's just about who you know or who is seeing you in certain situations. So even if you're a really good player, chances are, if you're really good, there's automatically going to be eyes on you. But there's also situations where really good players just are not seen, and by virtue, they don't get that university scholarship just because the eyeballs aren't on them. Now, the good thing is that social media is so powerful these days, and it's really a vital tool in helping you get those eyes on you. So for example, if you create a mixtape or a highlight tape or any form of social media posts, it can go a long way into getting coaches and recruiters to really see who you are as a player. And the other thing you can do is that you can find the emails of these coaches normally posted on the school websites, and you can email them, reaching out to them, basically introducing yourself, sending them your highlights, sending them your stats, your game schedule, and basically letting them know who you are. This is a situation where you really have nothing to lose, because what's the worst that can happen? Either the coach doesn't reply, or they say that they're not interested. And worst case, you just move on and contact the next coach. Especially today, there's really nothing holding you back from at least creating some form of highlight tape or mixtape of yourself, showcasing your skills. For example, when I was in high school, my mom used to literally come to my games and film them on her iPhone, and I literally used iMovie, which comes free on all MacBooks, to create a highlight tape, and I posted that to my Instagram and my Twitter. It got some views and it got some coaches interested in who I am, and then they started coming to watch my games in high school. And then from there, my high school coach also reached out to some coaches in university for me, kind of giving them a little bit of information on me, my stats, my game schedule, and then they would come to my games and watch me play. So basically what I'm saying is that you need to find ways to showcase your talent to these universities using social media and using the internet to leverage that, because it's a very, very powerful thing, and you want to make sure that you're taking full advantage of that so that these coaches and universities, their eyes are on you. Okay, moving along, your character matters. So when I was getting recruited in high school, one of the coaches that came to watch me play actually sat in the crowd in one of my games and started asking people in the crowd, like my school friends, how I was as a person. And he mentioned to me after that he was asking people about my character. So that just goes to show you that coaches are not just looking for the best basketball player, but they're also looking for high quality and high character individuals. Because at the end of the day, when you put on a jersey and when you're attending a university, you're not just a person, you're a physical representation of that university. So you want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. Now, some little things that you can do to signal to a coach that you have a good attitude and that you're a high character individual are very simple. Things like having a good attitude during a game, positive body language, being able to pick a teammate up, not cussing out or arguing with refs, looking put together and professional. And one of the biggest things is to look energized and engaged while warming up. You don't know how bad of a look it is when you're just acting like you're too cool or you're too good to warm up. Take everything seriously, because you never know who's watching and who's attending these games. So you always want to make sure that you're acting like a professional and putting your best step forward, because your character is going to be reflected by your actions. Lastly, you want to be persistent. Sometimes at the end of the day, if you want to make something happen, you need to go out and take it and actually make it happen. Not all opportunities are going to be handed to you. Sometimes coaches are going to say no, they're not interested. Or sometimes schools are going to ignore your emails. But if you let a couple no's make you give up your dreams of getting a basketball scholarship, then unfortunately you're just not going to get anywhere. And this is where the persistence and somewhat mental toughness comes in. If one coach says no, that's fine. You got to be persistent. You got to stay at it. You never know when you're going to finally get your opportunity. There's so many different schools, there's so many different coaches, and there's so many different opportunities that you can't let one no be the end of the world. So basically, sometimes it's just about taking matters into your own hands, creating those highlight tapes, posting on social media, reaching out to coaches by yourself, because at the end of the day, if you want to take advantage of an opportunity, you have to go out and get it. Skills and trainings. Okay, so I mentioned earlier on in this video that I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to maximize your skills and maximize your potentials. So let's just get into that real quick as well. So obviously these are catered around being skilled enough to play at the next level from high school. So that's university and college. So the first thing, and what I recommend every single one of you do, is to find yourself a good trainer in your area. Somebody who's credible, somebody whose clients actually show progress, and somebody who knows what they're doing and isn't just going to charge you money for nothing. Now, the skills and the gym times that these trainers can provide you, especially if you find yourself a good trainer, are invaluable. Obviously, I got to shout out my guy. So if you're in Ontario, Canada, specifically in the GTA area, my guy, Underdog Athletics, is the trainer that I can vouch for 110%. I'll leave his Instagram in the bio, but he's helped me come a long way. So I can personally tell you that he's my guy. So the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your body is physically ready to play at the next level. I can tell you the jump from high school to university is huge. You're playing against grown men. So you want to make sure that you're physically ready. So you want to be lifting weights. You want to have a good weightlifting routine. you want to be eating well, and you want to have proper sleep, because all of those are going to be tied in to making sure that your body is able to physically withstand what's going to be given out at the next level. And lastly, you want to find runs, scrimmages, or training sessions with players that are at the next level or that are better than you. This is because when you play with players who are better than you or are at the level that you aspire to be at, they're going to be busting your ass. So you're going to be forced to get better. It's that simple. Playing against better competition is how you get better, is how you push yourself, and how you get progress and results. All right, so that's going to do it for me. That's basically the steps, tips, and tricks on how you can get a basketball scholarship. And I really, really hope that you guys found something helpful in this video, because I want to see y'all succeed. This is a question that I get asked so much times about how do you get to the next level? How do you get a basketball scholarship? So I hope these tips and tricks really helped you. And man, just aspire to be great. You know, as the cliche goes, like, you got to put in the work, and eventually that work is going to pay off. So that's enough for me. My name is Aryan. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe and like this video as well. See you guys.